What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Truck Driver Sean YouTube channel. Today, coming at you with a pretty interesting piece of gear. I'm going to show you what it does, but it's a little hard to review it, so it's kind of like, here's my opinion type thing. What I have bought is a amp switcher, cab switcher unit. Everybody else is going with kind of like the big names in the industry right now, like the hot buys. And I decided to go with a little company, Kruse amplification, Kruse Kontrol, and that's literally what this is. This is the Kruse Kontrol controller. So what you have is you can hook 8 amps up, which obviously I have more than 8 amps, but I have 8 amps hooked into it with a choice of 4 different cabs. And you can mix and match them any way you want without having to get behind your gear. You just flick switches, which is right behind me over here. This beautiful aluminum unit right there. That's where all the magic comes from. Show enough, right? Show enough. So as we all know, I've talked about wanting a Kruse amplification head for a long time. So I like to support the small businesses, the little guys. So I figured I would get it. My biggest complaint, oh my god, I have to get 2 noise gates essentially for every amp. I know that sounds crazy, but if you hook the 4 cable method up, it almost null and voids it. So you need to put a noise gate in the effects loop of every single amp, except for the ones that have them built in, obviously. So you're talking about a lot of noise gates. Thank God I have a shit ton of them. And then you can choose to do 2 things. One's a little bit of a tone suck, and the other one you can control each individual amp. So what I've done is decided to control each individual amp. So I have a noise gate in the effects loop of almost all of them. There's a couple I just ran out of noise gates. I mean, obviously I didn't have, 16 noise gates on hand that weren't specifically for a 4 cable method. That's the downside. You needed a gate that's capable of 2 cable method. If I was you, I would just go on Amazon and get a cheap ass one, because they nowadays, for what you need in the back of this, work just as good as the expensive ones. Sorry to all my fellas out there building expensive shit, but $30 beats you $200 every day of the week. Matter of fact, buy 6 of those bitches for the same fucking price, which is what I'll be doing to finish up. Unless somebody just wants to send me some free ass noise gates. Free is good. Alright, so I have all my amps turned on. They're all warmed up. Some of these you will hear some hissing. Those are the ones that do not have gates in the back of them right now. Although I do have the threshold set on my mic. It's a cool little function in the new version of the Zoom Q8N. This camera's awesome, by the way. Fucking love this thing. Loves it. You can't go and buy a decent recording camera as cheap as you can buy this thing. I'll tell you right now, you're going to spend a shit ton of money. Alright, so enough of hearing me ramble. Little coffee. Double Mountain coffee, of course. Stuff's fucking awesome. I got it from Amazon. It's the cheapest, like $19 for a package of ground. Go check them out. If you like good tasting coffee and like a lot of caffeine, this stuff right here will fuzz up your taint in good shape. Alright, let's grab a guitar. We're going to grab the Mark Tremonti PRS Wood Library, and we're going to Tinka. Tinka, son. Tinka. Alright, the main cab I'm going to use to run all these through is my Monster cab, built by Dave Graham out of Maine, in his parking lot and basement and garage. Got a little bit he does here, a little bit he does there, right? And that's loaded with Eminence Man of War. That's what I have mic'd up. And yeah, everything else runs through the amp switcher. And it's just the amp going into that cab. Some of them, again, have noise gates in the effects loop. I have a couple that do not, and it should be pretty obvious which ones don't. And I have noise gates running for the physical front end of the amp as well for almost every single one of them, except for one. Because each amp has to be set differently. They're not all the same. So I'll tell you the amp as I go through it. I'll also give you what's each of my amps sound like back to back to back to back without touching settings on anything. It's going to kind of be an interesting thing to do, right? I think it's going to be interesting. We shall see. We shall see. God, that coffee's fucking good. Habits. I live on caffeine and nicotine. Yeah. Once knew a girl, she had 3 butts. Alright. First one we're going to do... Oh, I need to get my little microphone switcher here so I can turn the microphone off. Come on. Come on. Get over here. Jesus. It's a good thing I don't call myself a professional YouTuber because I'm a fucking idiot. Alright. So the first one we're going to do will be the Labagoa Mr. Hector. Alright, so there we go. That's the Mr. Hector. What's awesome, you just turn that off and everything gets real quiet in the room again. That's pretty awesome. You just have to go to every amp and mess with everything. Now I just click it on. It's pretty dope. Next is the Armored Sabot version 2.5, I believe. Yeah. By the way, if you have an old Armored and you have like the first version of it and you're a little unhappy with its sound spectrum, send it back to Hudden. He'll take care of you there at Armored. All right, here we go. Armored Sabot. All right, there we go. That's the Armored Sabot. I got a squeaky chair. Might have to put a little lube on its shaft. You know what I'm saying? Next is the Angle Fireball 100 E385 or some shit. It doesn't say on the front of it, so I don't know. Here we go. Forgot to turn the mic off. All right, so the angle ended up being a clusterfuck, but I need to explain what I just did. Trying to keep the levels the same. So when I did my test, the tubes must not have been as warm as they are now. And I had to turn the master volume down just a little bit so I didn't clip out on the mic. So again, here's the Angle Fireball 100 without the interruption of the room mic. That amp's just a lot of fun to play. If you've never played one of those, do yourself a favor. go snag one up. Alright, the next amp is the Chaos Amps Hatred. Alright, that is the Chaos Hatred 50 watt. I love that amp. It's my newest amp too, by the way. I think it's pretty sick. Yeah! Alright, next is the Rev G20, and as you can tell, no noise gate. Here we go. Again, another one that was a little loud the next time around, so let's give that another stab. And again, noise. That's what happens with this amp switcher. Without the amp switcher, that amp is stone cold quiet. So here we go. That is unnecessarily noisy, irritates the living shit out of me, that it makes that noise, and for some reason it's the amp switcher that does it. I don't know if the other brands do that. I don't know if it's just an amp switcher thing. I'm going to reach out to some of the guys I know that have amp switchers and see if they're having any of that same problem. If not, then I would suggest you go buy the other brands and not a Kruse Kontrol. Unfortunately, like to support the younger, well, he's not really a younger guy, but the smaller companies. But if you're making a product that's just, you know, well, not good, pay a little extra money to get the other stuff. Good is good. You know what I'm saying, son? The KSR Orthos Mach 2. As y'all know, that's a quiet fucking amp. Listen. We all here know I've used that amp a shit ton. It's fucking quiet. Listen. Now, alright, let's do this. Again, I had to turn the volume down a little bit. So here we go. Orthos Mark II. Alright. Again, I apologize for the noise, but once we get to this side of the room over here, I don't have noise gates hooked up except for 1 maybe? I can't remember. Gotta buy some noise gates. I mean, the thing functions. It switches the amps, it switches the cabs, but the noise is just unfucking believable. All right, here we go. We're gonna do the Omega Obsidian. I forgot I didn't have to touch the thing. I bet the volume's gonna be fucked up. Let's check it out. Once again, the noise. And lastly, but not least, my favorite amp on the freaking planet. Forever. For something to beat that amp, it's gonna take someone a whole lot of really smart luck and seriously, some shit luck at that. This amp's so goddamn good. It's the Republic X amp. It's just so good. I love that amp. I can't say enough good things about it. Probably the volume's gonna be fucked up, so let's see if we can make a nightmare out of this sucker. Alright, so as you can see, we went through all the heads just by flicking switches on an amp switcher. Way easier than going behind it and messing with all that stuff to get it up and running, right? So now I'm going to show you, I'm just going to use the angle, because why not, right? That one's got a gate all set up on it. And switching between cabs, the volumes are going to be a little wonky and shit, so bear with me. But I'm going to show you what happens when you just switch cabs. Like, you can use the same head, but you can decide, like, oh, crap. I don't know if the other cab's mic'd up yet. I'll use a room mic. Fuck it, right? It'll work. It might not be the best, but it'll work. Sort of, I think. We'll find out. Didn't think that went through all that well. Alright, so obviously I have this one mic'd up, and I have no way to mute it, so I'm just going to show you the other the other three cabs, because that'll be relevant. This one here, you've been listening to it the whole time mic'd up. You're not going to have that privilege with this. I'm just going to show you that you can switch it, right? So we've been using cab 2, so we're going to use cab 1, we're going to use the angle. Here we go. And then we're going to switch over to cab 3. And cab 4. So yeah, that's how you switch it. And this is why we mic stuff up, because it doesn't sound as good as when that's mic'd, right? Anyhow, that's all I have for today. That is the Kruse amplification, Kruse Kontrol amp and cab controller. It's 8 amps, 4 cabs. You're looking at about $900. Buy one of those, hand built in the United States. Like I said, I have nothing to compare it to see if all amp switchers do that, but it's very noisy. A lot of noise gates are involved. But I am going to reach out to guys who own them and see if they're having any problems, because a lot of people get a good deal from somebody, you don't want to talk about the dirty. And unfortunately, the dirty's there, right? Like, you can't get rid of the dirty without a shower. But people will sit there and not tell you, like, hey, this is an issue I'm having with this, because, you know, they feel invested and they feel like they have to do something nice because they either got a discount or they got something for free. That's why I don't get a lot of stuff for free, because if I get it for free and it's not doing what it's supposed to do, I fucking talk about it. Yeah, it's just one of those things, man, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay being the voice of reason out there with this stuff. But anyhow, one, it gives you a good little sound of what all my amps kind of sound like, and they, oddly enough, sound super duper similar, just 'cause I sound like me. So having this many amps is just retarded. Which I know that's a bad word these days, but what else do you call all this crap, you know? It's a lot of stuff. But having an amp switcher makes it easier to deal with. So if anybody has any idea what I could do to clean this up, if the guy from Kruse Kontrol or Kruse Amplification sees this and he thinks something isn't working right, please reach out and let me know what I could do. For what I'm doing in here, this was supposed to, like, save me a lot of hassle. And I don't mind buying a bunch of noise gates, but Jesus, you know, I might as well, if the other brands don't do that, I might as well just buy the expensive one after you buy that many fucking noise gates, you know? It's ridiculous. Anyhow, time to do the whole jaunt. I always wait until I'm all the way to the end. That way, if you don't want to listen to it, you can just get the fuck out of here and you don't have to hear it, right? That's right. You can just hit stop and get the fuck out. All right, so what we have going on is my normal thing. I still, even though I mention this, I still get messages all the time like, dude, you should start a Patreon. I'm not going to start a Patreon. Everything I film in here is going to everybody. Why? This is not my job. If you feel inclined to want to help, like, the channel, there's a thank you button. You can hit that And you can send $1, you can send $2, you can send $10, you can send $100. I don't give a shit. Whatever gets sent goes into a little savings account I've started. And when I get a new pedal and I can get 2 of them, I'll get 2. You know, I'll buy my pedal, but if there's enough money in the kitty to get a pedal to give away, I'll do that. Because a lot of times if you tell a builder that you're going to do that, they give you a crazy good discount and I can give stuff to you guys. You know? Only downside is if I get something that's a piece of shit, I'm giving away a piece of shit. But hey, at least you'll know it's a piece of shit because I said it's a piece of shit. Well, I shouldn't say it's a piece of shit, it's just not for me. Everybody has their use for stuff. But to be able to give stuff away, I mean, obviously I can't buy stuff all the time. Like the giveaway we're doing right now with Parks Custom Pedals and with GupTech. I didn't buy the pedal that I'm giving to y'all. They were gifted by these companies because they're just awesome companies and they want to give back. That's the type of companies you want to support, you know? Granted, everybody's in it. It's a business. You know, for your business to survive and thrive, you can't be giving stuff away all willy-nilly. I feel very fortunate that I get heavy discounts on stuff if I'm going to be giving it away or get it for free. So that's kind of awesome. But that's where that money's going to go. Stop asking about Patreon, please. And I know some of you are doing it now just because I keep saying don't ask. So you're like, hey, fat guy, you like think you're funny? I'm going to drive you nuts. Bang. Which is fine. Because I just giggle every time like, man, these fuckers don't listen. But yeah, if you listen to anything, listen to this. Keep music evil. Bring metal to the children. Don't be a dick. Subscribe to my shit. Catch you in the next video, man. Later.